A whirlwind cruise ends up testing the bonds of marriage when a wife meets a man who's everything her husband is not. That's the plot of a new book. It's written by a Connecticut author. It's called As Long as He Needs Me. And joining us now to talk about it is author Mary Verdick. Mary, welcome to you. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
Let's set up this story for folks watching. This is supposed to be a dream vacation for the main character, Kitty, and her husband, Clem. It's their 35th wedding anniversary trip, right?
Right.
But what happens?
Well, just before they get on the ship, Clem is robbed by two street hoodlums, and that sets off a profound introspection on his part about his weaknesses and what's happened to him, and also his own mortality.
So he starts to almost distance himself from his wife on this trip.
Right,
is that what happens?
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of problems do they face as a result of that?
Well, he keeps turning away from her, and she doesn't understand why. So she meets a man who's an entertainer on the ship, this very glamorous Toby Knight, and he's very kind, and he gives her a lot of support, and so she sort of turns toward him.
Tell us more about Toby Knight, because he is this attractive, mysterious Englishman, right?
Right. Well, he has a big secret, too, in his past, which she finds out too late, almost too late.
So in the end, she's forced to choose between
Right.
these two.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to tell us how it ends,
No.
are you? How did you come to the premise of this book to write about this? Because there really are no personal connections other than the trip, because you say you took a similar cruise with your husband, right?
Mm-hmm. We did. But the rest of it, Clem is a Vietnam veteran, and I think a lot of baby boomers are going through this where they're afraid of their own mortality, and suddenly they're faced with all these problems, and so I just kept thinking about that. And
You were thinking about it for some time, and you decided to put it down on paper eventually.
Right, I did.
You call this a psychological novel. Why is that?
Well, I think because it's what they have to choose between right and wrong. Both of them have this problem that they have to face.
And come to terms with.
Right.
And I hear you're working on a new novel now.
Yes,
Is it almost a continuation of this, or
No,
something
it's
completely
entirely
different?
different.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it has a lot of romance in it, and has a lot of mystery in it. And this one, it's called That Certain Summer. And it's a girl, and what she meets a very exciting Italian from Italy.
Oh, okay. It always involves travel. Are they
Yes.
usually romance novels that you write? Because you've written several books.
Yes, I have. No, they're not really romance novels, but they all have a lot of romance in them, because I think people like romance.
And before you started writing these books, you were working for a company that did a publication for children's schools across the country, right?
Yes, Weekly Reader, which goes to all the schools.
Which was located here in Connecticut before they were bought out by Scholastic. So you have lived in Connecticut for some time.
Yes, almost 30 years
In Middletown.
in Middletown.
So do we see any Connecticut connections in this book?
In this book,
Yeah.
the couple live in a town called River Edge, which is between Hartford and New Haven, which is very similar to Middletown. And there are references in it to Wesleyan University, which takes place in Middletown.
Well, we're going to look out for your next book as well. In the meantime, we want to let folks know about this one. This, again, is called As Long as He Needs Me. You can find more information about it on our website, WTNH.com. Click on the Connecticut Style link, and you'll find it there. The author, Mary Verdick, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it. It was great.